We want to start off with a reminder that we are not doctors. Before you make any changes or try something new, always consult with your doctor and medical team first. Chronic illness can vary from patient to patient, so it's always best to consult with your own doctor for what is best for you.
Hello, welcome to IB Determined. I'm your host, Mason Harvey, and I have Crohn's disease.
And I'm your host, Michelle Harvey. I'm Mason's mom, and I speak in the role of a caregiver. And we just want to welcome everybody, first of all, to our 25th episode.
It's a
today.
big deal.
It is. And we were almost going to skip this week because we have Christmas and it's actually my husband's birthday. His dad, on Christmas Eve.
So it's a busy week.
So things are a little hectic, and we're like, oh, maybe we should just hold off with them. We're like, you know what? Let's just do it. And so we're recording this a little earlier than we normally would. And we just kind of wanted to end the year, and we know it's going to be the new year soon, and we kind of want to end it with you guys and end it at episode 25. And we'll definitely see you in the new year with the podcast. It will keep going. I wanted to kind of do maybe a recap of our podcast through this year.
Our journey of podcasts through this year.
Yeah. We reserved the name for our podcast 2 years ago. And when I did that, Mason wasn't super interested.
I wasn't really ready to do the
No.
podcast. I didn't. It was kind of like I've never really been on a podcast before, so I didn't really know what it would be like. Yeah.
Neither had I.
Yeah, well, we didn't know. But
really smart. Two people who've never been on podcasts to start a podcast, right?
And then
great thinking.
Here we are. But obviously, in the beginning, I was like, I don't know what a podcast is.
Yeah. Well, and you had a lot going on.
Yeah,
You have appointments, you have school, and
all that wonderful stuff.
Yeah, and I wanted to make sure you had time to just be a kid, be a teen, and not like have something that turns into a job. And so the main thing is I didn't want the podcast to be something that was like, oh great, like we have to do this.
Too much time,
Yeah, that's not what it's about.
It's supposed to be just fun.
Yeah. And so what we did is we reserved the name. I held on to it. And then when Mason was ready, we went ahead and launched our first episode, which was on
Thursday, July 13th.
Yeah, it was our first episode. So it's been about 5 months, just a little over 5 months since then. Here we are.
On our 25th podcast.
Yeah. And I don't think it's been too bad.
No.
We didn't set any goals necessarily when we started this. It was, there was one main goal, which was to help
others.
Yeah, that was the main thing. But we didn't set any personal goals with it. Like some people, when they start a podcast, they want to monetize. They're doing it for different reasons. So they're obsessed with the numbers and the viewers and finding sponsors. And for us, luckily, we don't have to worry about any of that. That's not why we're here.
We're just to help others. And
so I think that's been kind of low pressure though, because we didn't have it wasn't like a job, or it wasn't like something we're trying to make money off of. So we just kind of got to relax and be like, well, what happens and just have fun with it. So when we started, we did think, well, let's try one a week. And I thought, well, maybe let's do it in the very beginning. Then we'll go to every 2 weeks, because
one every week seems like quite a bit.
It did, especially in the beginning. Yeah. And when I had that computer that was kind of
limping,
and just struggling along the way.
And then you had to edit it on that computer.
Yeah, I did.
On it.
That was part of the bigger problem. And so even getting external drives, and it was too much.
Recording software takes up a lot of space.
It does. The editing especially is
editing, that's what I meant.
But recording does take up space too.
Because you need a place to put the videos
before
you edit them.
Yeah. And since we do video and audio, we have two different ones we save every episode, basically. So there was that was part of the reasoning that we may not be able to do too many. And we also had goals of having guests on. We're like, oh, that would be great, but then I'm like, we can't do that because my computer isn't trustworthy. At least if Mason and I record one, and it's it
didn't work
we have done before.
But if someone was like, okay, I'll be there at this time, and I'll
and then it doesn't work out
and you're
because I can't save it, it's I don't want to deal with that
again.
No. So we decided to see if we could make it work. And we got through 23 episodes, I think 22 on the old laptop,
Yeah.
and we made it through once a week.
It's a
And
strong little computer.
yeah, we did. We like barely made it
Yeah,
because
just
it
barely.
was having a very hard time even just
On the day we got this, it like just started like
it was
not
done.
working.
It was
Like it was kind of
yeah.
like meant to be with the new computer.
So here we
Rest
are.
in peace,
And
old laptop.
yeah, luckily so I cleaned it out after
Yeah.
and now I'm able to use it. It has one job only now, and that's just for doing my other work. So it only has one job and it's very happy now. Operates very well
Rest in peace
because
for podcasts.
yeah,
Say.
yeah, exactly.
Doesn't do that.
Doesn't do that anymore.
Mhm.
It's done. So it's officially retired as far as podcasts go on that. But we did start thinking it wasn't going to be 1 week, and we have been doing this every week. And
Impressive if you think about it.
it really is because it's like you have to come up with the ideas, you have
Yeah.
to film, you have to edit. And we have other lives outside of this. This, like I said, we don't monetize this. This isn't where I make my money. And so I have my work, and we have homeschool, we have doctors. So it's
Schools.
definitely been a challenge, but a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm happy to do it. That's why we always talk about your responses mean so much to us, because that's why we do
these
this.
podcasts.
Yeah, it's important to us to continue to spread awareness. So with that, we're going to probably be just kind of babbling today because we're just talking about
So
our
loose
podcast,
episode, just talking about
ourselves on our
Yeah.
podcast.
today.
So,
You can hear about us.
yeah,
Hope you
so
like it.
like we said, we are on our 25th episode. We started July 13th. And what did we just hit? What
We hit 500 downloads yesterday.
a couple days ago?
Couple days
Yeah,
ago,
now we're over it,
We're
but
over 500.
we did
but
hit that
we hit the
number.
500 mark before New Year's, and that was kind of our goal.
Yeah, that was something. And those of you who are like legit podcasters, and if you're listening and you hear 500, you're probably snickering at that
You're like,
right
"Ooh,
now.
that's
Yeah,
funny."
you're like, wow.
I don't know. To other
But-
people, it may not seem like a lot, but
Yeah, but to
it's
me,
a big deal.
that is a lot
Yeah.
of like, it's not, relatively speaking, we're probably in like the 1% of podcasts. But to me, that is that many people, that many downloads. That's how much we reached and made an
Mhm.
impact. Where if we didn't have this podcast,
We wouldn't have reached those
no,
that many people.
no,
Yeah.
not at all. So to me, that's huge. It's like, wow, we figured out another way to get our voices heard and teach people about this disease, and hopefully in the near future, other diseases, other challenges, and how we overcome them. And so I think that is really something. So to me, that was a big deal. And I think to you also, it was
Yeah,
a
the
big
deal.
deal. Yeah. And we'll do a couple of fun facts because this is what at the end of the day they wrap up and they give you these facts. And so you want to read what was most popular city?
San Diego, and then
Which I mean,
oh.
that's where we're based.
yeah,
So
that's where we are.
not a huge surprise there. We're pretty sure we have a lot of our listeners maybe more local.
local. Yeah.
Yeah, but what was in second? What was the
In
second most
place,
popular?
Eugene, Oregon.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
shout out to
Yeah.
Eugene. You are our second
Wonderful,
most
wonderful city.
yeah.
And then
West Lafayette,
yeah, in West
Indiana
Lafayette, Indiana.
is third.
Right about that. Lafayette, yeah. And then Chicago, Illinois, and then Austin, Texas.
Yeah. So there is many more cities,
many
which is
more,
kind of
yeah.
fun to look through, but those were our top
Top 5
most popular. So if you're in one of those cities, thank you guys.
for watching our
And
episode.
other cities we didn't mention, thank you too.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry we didn't get to
Right.
touch on everything.
Yeah. And we've also had downloads around the world in 12 countries. And number one, not
United
surprisingly,
States.
yeah, United States.
That's
And
followed by Canada,
Mhm.
and then the United Kingdom. Thank you
Mhm.
for watching. And then New Zealand and the Netherlands.
Yeah, so that was our top 5 out of the 12
countries.
countries,
Yeah.
yeah, that have been listening, which is also, if you think about that, really neat to know
You're
because
reaching a lot of countries.
yeah, and it's interesting for us to find out where our listeners are from and where IBD affects you. And I think that's pretty interesting to me too, to see that. So, I mean, maybe you're tuning in because you know somebody with IBD, but if you have it and you're listening, that's also great for us to know. So, if any of you are listening to this and you feel like commenting and letting us know where you're listening from, please feel free to let us know. It's exciting to us because
To hear from
yeah,
others.
it is. It
Some
is.
fun facts about you.
And let's see what else. Okay, so let's go over this really quick. This will be a fun one. So it also gives you your top 5 episodes, and we start in order of number 1, what our most watched episode was. And I don't think I was super surprised. So the most watched episode was
Episode 1.
which was the
Surprise.
intro to I Be Determined. And so
Yeah.
I'm guessing most people who are
You
going
see
to
the
listen,
channel, then you're gonna watch the
right,
introduction.
you're going to see, okay, what are these people about? And then you make a decision if we are interesting to you or if we're not. So, which that I'm sure that does happen.
I hope you find our podcast
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So
Please.
that was number 1, and our number 2 most popular episode.
Episode 9. How to handle unsupportive family and friends.
Yeah, which to me, again, I think what that really shows is what a big topic that must be. So a lot of you listening must have these same issues with unsupportive family and friends. And so I like hearing these things because it reinforces that we're talking about the right things. And it's not just, us sharing our situation with family or friends. It's knowing and understanding that you guys out there share this,
Is
and
interested in it.
yeah, maybe
relate
our
in some
story
way.
helps you, or or yeah, like you said, relate in some way to it. And my big hope with that episode was that the takeaway would be for more people to understand and be able to be supportive, and maybe turn those unsupportive family and friends into supporters who understand. So that was kind of the idea with that episode, and I hope that's working. I really do. And so after that one, what was the number 3 most popular?
Episode 3, coincidentally in 3rd place,
Yeah.
and that is importance of mental health.
Which again, that makes sense to me because I think
That's
mental
another
health
big
is
topic.
a big topic. Yeah. When it comes to
Any
IBD, Crohn's
disease.
disease. Yeah. And any disease, really. So I think that makes sense. And the 4th most popular was
Episode 12, finding insurance denials. What a fun topic that was.
I know
That's another important one.
right. And I'm pretty sure when people are watching that, you're either watching it out of desperation because you are having a problem and you're hoping to learn something by listening to that, or maybe you're just listening to our channel and that is something that is especially helpful to you. I think anybody with any chronic illness, any disease is going to some point or another have to fight an insurance denial. So I think this is helpful for anyone. So that really doesn't surprise me. I think we are probably reaching a lot of different listeners with that episode. And what is the 5th was the 5th most watched?
And the 5th one is episode 2, what is Crohn's disease?
Which I'm happy to hear that because I kept hoping that people would be interested and want to learn more about it.
What Crohn's disease is and be
Yeah.
interested in it.
That's all part of this process, is educating to help others
Raise
and help them
awareness.
understand and raise awareness. So I was excited to see that one up there. And I think also there's obviously I like all of our episodes. I think all of
We
them
love
are
them all equally.
we do. But I think that is interesting. It's good for us to see where that importance lies, because that kind of leads into what we'll be doing next year, is bringing in some guests. Now that we have the new computer, we have the new equipment, we'll be able to start interviewing guests. And I think what these kind of things help with us when we hear what you guys are into or what you're watching and listening to is we know who to bring in, maybe experts that can provide more insight into these topics. So thank you guys for the support and for helping us determine how we can better help you guys. So that's kind of in store for next year, is bringing in guests. And
a lot more episodes, more episodes with guests in them.
And we do have guests.
Special guests.
We have made special requests saying, "Would you be on our show?" And we have received some yeses. Yeah, we've gotten some.
Peek. There's definitely gonna be some guests.
Yeah, and so we're very excited to get to that. So that'll be next year, and then like what we're talking about, what we feel made the most impact for us with this podcast this year was you guys, which is our listeners. And hearing feedback, hearing people tell us that they know someone who's been listening and it's been helpful to them, or to have someone message us and explain what they're going through. And so that has made this 100% worth it. And just know, even if it was one person, it
still matters.
Yeah, it felt worth it to us. So that's been pretty cool. So our listeners have been the most impact on us, I think. So We also have goals for next year. So we're going to try to keep the podcast going every week. And that
It's a
could,
challenge, but
yeah. And I
it's
mean,
good
in
to
that,
keep up.
we can't we're not going to hold ourselves to that, because if we can, we'll continue it. But if things get more busy, or Mason's schedule changes, we're going to go with that too. But for now, we have those goals, because we also have some other goals for people who've been asking for another follow-up to Not Your Average Slice of Pizza. They'd like another book.
Ooh.
And so, yeah, no
Sneak
promises
peek.
there, but that could be something. We have a
Might
few
be
other
interesting.
plans in the works and things we've been working on. So those, we do have some goals next year to continue to raise awareness and continue on with our mission to help find a cure for Crohn's disease and ulcerative colitis. So we are not stopping there. And part of what helps us with having these goals and trying to achieve them is having what happened this year, which was one of Mason's biggest wishes, and ours too. And so many people wish for things to be given to them.
Then
And I
there's
think
nothing really wrong with that.
no, and I mean that's normal. That's part of being a human. We
You
enjoy
have wants.
getting, yeah,
You
we
want the
do.
wants.
But I think for us, the biggest wish was not so much a personal one as it was for it would benefit you, but benefit millions
Everyone
of
else with
others.
Crohn's disease
And
or with colitis.
Yeah.
IBD in general.
yeah, exactly. And so getting that $50,000 donation in Mason's name this year, I think was our number one,
Yeah, biggest wish.
our number one biggest wish.
Christmas wish.
Yeah, that was
Crohn's
like,
and colitis wish.
I couldn't believe
Yeah.
it. I didn't think that would happen. I would have been excited for far less than that.
I've been excited for
But
$100.
yeah, I mean, it's not like that. Yeah, it's not to say that we would change it.
No. Keep it at 5,000.
Yeah.
50,000.
But that was just so unexpected, and it is something that was such a huge wish that we could find a cure or find better treatments, and that donation of $50,000 is going to make a huge dent. Also, just by them donating 50,000, somebody else matched that. And so it brought in actually 100,000.
Right there's 100,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is 2 times our greatest wish.
Yeah, so like 2 wishes,
Yeah,
right?
2 wishes at
Double
one
wishes
time.
granted.
Yeah.
So that I think was the biggest highlight in our year, was having that happen and having that become a reality. And so in that note, we should probably give a shout out at this point, just say thank you not only to those of you who've made donations, such as the one we were just speaking about,
Yeah.
but mainly to just our friends and our family. And those of you, you know who you are. You've been supportive, you've been kind, and you have treated Mason like the warrior he is. And I'm very thankful for you guys and for listening. That's the main thing here is, since we're on the podcast, this is also about the support and listening to us. And
Stay tuned for every other video.
right.
Yeah.
That's been amazing. So, and our new friends too. Shout out to our new friends and new listeners who are going to be like friends and family to us, because I feel like with this disease, like, how you meet someone, they say, I have Crohn's disease. You immediately feel like you know them.
Yeah. You're one of us.
Right. It's like an instant family member. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you get it.
Instant friend.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like whenever somebody in the community reaches out, it's like, oh yeah, come on over. Like, we're friends, we're family, it's,
I know you.
yeah, it's an incredible feeling. And so we just want to thank everyone who has started listening, and we hope you're getting some value out of this podcast for whatever reasons you're listening. We hope it's providing a need. It's working, and I hope you stay tuned for next year. I think it's just going to get better, because we obviously started this. We had no idea what we were doing.
No.
And we just knew we were like, let's help people, and we want to get people to listen. Like, how do we talk about stuff and people listen to us? It's like, oh, we trap them on a podcast, and
You
they're
have
gonna
to listen to us now.
Yeah. So it's been a really cool experience, and it's been because of you guys that we've been doing this. And so so thank you to friends and family and new friends
on this journey.
Yeah, you're part of this journey now. You're with us, and I think that's pretty special. It's pretty neat. So I think that's about
it for today.
That's about it.
Bit of
Just a short episode, but we wanted to really
wrap up the year.
Yeah, wrap up the year and say thank you guys. That was the most important thing, we are so thankful for how this year's gone, and I hope next year is even
Better.
better. And so, yeah. So we just want to say thank you guys and wish you all happy holidays.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, because this will be released after Christmas. So you guys, when you're listening to this, will be probably everyone will be looking forward to New Year's.
Yeah.
And so, yeah,
Happy
so
New Year's.
this will be the last one
Please
of
keep Christmas spirit.
yeah, yeah, you don't want them to forget that.
No.
But this will be the last episode for
Yeah.
2023, and we're going to head into season 2. So this will be the end of season 1, officially done, and we're heading into season 2. So we'll be starting over in the new year.
Yeah. They're going to miss you 2023.
Yeah, it's weird, huh? It's kind
Yeah.
of like I just it doesn't seem like it's been that long
No,
since
it
we
hasn't. It
started.
really hasn't.
But it's like it seems at times it takes like a while because you're recording and doing that stuff. But when you sit back and look at it, it's like, wow, it kind of
It's
flew
already
by.
been that far, that long. Yeah.
Mhm. So thank you guys,
Yes, thank you. so much.
and you all have a good morning, good afternoon, good evening,
Good week.
good week, good weekend.
Good Christmas. If
Yeah.
you
Hope you had a good
Yeah, we hope
Christmas.
you had a good Christmas.
Yeah.
We hope
Hope you did. Yeah,
Hope
and
you have a good
you
New
guys have
Year's.
a happy and safe and healthy new year.
Yes.
And please keep reaching out. Please keep messaging us. Let us know what's important to you. We're going to keep talking. We're here to keep being a voice
Yeah.
and helping others with IBD. So, everyone, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And you can follow us on Instagram at Team IB Determined. You can see all of our pictures, personal stories, medical journey. It's all on there. So,
All
feel
fun
free to follow
facts.
us on Instagram. And you can also listen to us on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. And I always post a link to Buzzsprout where you can see where you can listen to us on multiple other stations as well. And instead of
If you like
listening,
watching, go to YouTube. And if you are on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to be notified every time we post a video, make sure to hit that bell. And also, we have been getting more comments. So thank you so much. If you
No end of the year guilt trip.
comments- Yes, end of the year guilt trip.
Yeah,
Just make a New Year's resolution to leave a comment every time on YouTube if you're watching us on YouTube.
that's good.
Oh,
That's really
there we
good.
go.
Yeah, New Year's
now
resolution
they have,
for
now
you
they have to
listening.
comment.
Yeah, I like
Yeah.
that. I like that. So
If
yeah,
you need ideas on what to comment, you can always leave ideas of what you want to see in future episodes.
Mhm.
Why you're watching our podcast, what
Yeah.
brought you here, if you've related with anything so far, and what you really like about it.
That'd be cool. We would
Yeah.
appreciate it. So feel free to do that, and we'll be happy to respond and happy to maybe turn it into a future episode. So, and even if you're interested in appearing on the show, if you feel like you want to share your story, reach out to us and let us know too.
And if we do use an idea for a video that you gave an idea to, maybe we'll give you a shout out.
Yeah, which is really cool.
Yeah. A shout out from the one and only IB Determines.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Excited.
All right, guys. Well, we're going to wrap it up now, and we will go ahead and see you guys in the new year on the
New year.
next
Episode.
episode.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope you will stick around, tune in, and reach out to us with your own journeys. We are excited to give you an inside view of what it takes to be a caregiver and what it's like to be a patient.
And most of all, we hope you'll maybe be able to play something you hear on here that might help you in your own life. Sometimes life changes, and it's all about how you handle the journey.